Hi everyone, welcome back to another video in our series, Crash Course for Piano. Today, we'll be consolidating our knowledge based on what we learned in the last lesson. In the last lesson, we learned how to read notes and how to play a simple song, Mary Had a Little Lamb. Reading notes is a difficult part in music, and it is important that we get the basics and fundamentals right before we move on. That way, you can have an easy transition into reading more complicated notes to play your favorite songs. Let's try this exercise. If we look at the notes, we can see that there is a treble clef symbol over here, and this means that you have to play for right hand, and on the right side, there's the bars. This will tell you how many beats there are in each bar, like we said in the last video. So, since this is 4, 4, in one bar there will be 4 beats. Let's move on to the notes. The song starts at this note, which is on its own line and it's under the first line, which we remember as C. So let's play it. Moving on, we have 2 notes that are on the first line, and we note that the only note that can be on the first line is an E. So we play C, E, E, and then we move up to a G. Let's play that together. Let's play it one more time, but this time you follow again with me. Great job. If we move on, we can see that there's a repeat of notes. It's again C, E, E, G. And again, one more time, C, E, E, G. So, in the first line, you will play C, E, E, G 3 times. Afterwards, we can see that there is a change in notes. We'll play a G, and then we'll play this note, which is under the first line, but it isn't on its own line, so this is a D. And then another D. But recalling what we learned in the last video, this D isn't a normal D, it is a half beat. Whereas this note we played for 1 beat, we'll play this note for 2 beats. So let's try the first line together. Good job. If we move on to the second line, we can see that there's a repeat of notes. We will again play C, E, E, G. So let's play that. Moving on, we can see that there is another C, E, E, G that we have to play. So let's play that. So, in the second line, we've repeated C, E, E, G twice so far. But moving on, we can see that there are different notes. So unlike the first line, we won't repeat C, E, E, G thrice. We will only repeat it twice. So, let's see what these notes are. If we look at the first note, it's G, because it is on the second line. Moving on, we can see that it is F, because under G, it is F. And under F, it is the first line. So this note can only be E. And under this note, there is another note, which is going to be D. So let's try to play that all together. Let's play it one more time, but I'll call out the notes and you can play it along with me. G, F, E, D. Great job. Moving on, we have another set of notes. This note is on the first line, so it can only be an E. And the next note is a C, because they are under the first line and they are on their own line, and we have to play C twice. But like the first line, the second C is going to be 2 beats instead of 1. So quarter note, half note. So let's try playing that. I will count the timings along and call the notes this time. You try it along with me. E, C, C, 2. Let's try playing the whole line together. Two. Great job. This time, we will play it with the first line and the second line together so we can get a gist of how the song sounds like. Two. Two. Moving on to the third line, there are a new set of notes. The first note is an E. We know this because it is on the first line. The next note is a G. We know this as well because it is on the second line. The next note is a C. We know this because it is under the first line and it has its own line to stay on. And then the next note is a D because it is under the first line but it doesn't have its own line. So, let's play this together. Moving on, we can see that the notes repeat. E, G, C, D. Moving on to the next bar, it may look like the notes repeat, but this time the final note has changed. We play E, G, C, but this time instead of a D, we will play an E, because that note is on the first line. And moving on to the next bar, we have to play a G, because that note is on the second line, and we will play a repeat of a D. But the second D is going to be 2 beats. So, 2. Now let's play the entire line together. Two. Great job. Now we will be moving on to the final line of this piece. We can see that the first bar repeats the same notes as the third line, E, G, C, D. But in the fourth line, instead of playing it twice, we can see that we move directly to E, G, C, E, which is the third bar of the third line. So let's try playing that. Next, the bar has new notes. We start at a G, and then we move down by 1, an F. We move down one more time, which is an E, and we move down the final time, which is a D. So we will play it as G, F, E, D. Let's try playing that. Moving on to the last bar, it is something that we had played before. In the final bar of the second line, we have already played this. E, because this note is on the first line, and then 2 C's. But the second C is a half note, so we'll play it like this. 2. Now, let's try to play the final line before we play the entire piece together. Great job. Now that we've gone through the whole song, let's play the song together as a whole, with every single line. I will play it first, and then, after you've listened to it, you can play it along with me. you tried along with me. I will also be saying the names of the notes and counting the beats for your reference. C, E, E, G, C, E, E, G, C, E, E, G, G, D, D, 2. C, E, E, G, C, E, E, G, G, F, E, D, E, C, C, 2. E, G, C, D, E, G, C, D, E, G, C, E, G, D, D, 2. E, G, C, D, E, G, C, E, G, F, E, D, E, C, C, 2. This is a piece that is a little harder from what we tried before, so it's okay if you get a few notes wrong. It's important to practice, or you won't be able to play the notes properly. Now that we've practiced 2 pieces, let's move on to a 3rd piece. But this time, I won't walk you through the piece. This is to see if you've learned what I've taught you in the past 2 videos. So what have we done today? We've consolidated our knowledge from the last 2 videos and we've learned a new piece. Furthermore, I have assigned you a new piece, but this time I haven't walked you through it, so you're on your own based on what you've learned in the last 2 videos. I hope you enjoy practicing it, and thanks for watching.